Welcome to the R12, something that we've been extremely excited for a very, very long time. This is BMW's introduction to a low-level, big capacity bike that will inspire confidence for riders that have tried big bikes in the past but want something that just fits them a little bit better. This is BMW's answer for that, and we are mad excited for it. First of all, first impressions, the tank. I am such a fan of this tank. Myself and Rory have been waiting to see a tank like this for a very, very long time. Hence, we are so excited to see the tanks that are available from Unit Garage to turn the old generation bikes into something like this. Big fan of the toaster tank. Get some bread ready, we're making toast. Outside of that, the seating position and the real dramatic forward pegs is something that, like I've said before, is really going to appeal to a new rider, along with all of the stuff that is synonymous with BMW, like the quality of finish. A BMW Torx bolt everywhere I see, and as well, some beautiful new covers for us to play with. Plenty of scope for modification here, and myself and Rory are buzzing to get our hands on one of these. Chassis. Let's chat about the dramatic changes that BMW have made for the R12 platform, both the R12 here and the R12 So we still have that beautifully handling tubular frame, but it is a completely new designed frame. We have a new position for the shock. The shock is now mounted at an angle as opposed to vertically, and we only have a front frame, a front main frame with a rear subframe bolted here and here for an R12 configuration and an R9T configuration. Now, this alone is a great opportunity for myself and Rory to get the rear of this bike completely transformed by possibly making a new frame for it, because we can start from here and work backwards. So we're going to do some of that when we get our hands on one of these bikes, when we get back to the workshop. But for now, I'm going to continue to work through what's changed and what's new. From a braking standpoint, something that you noticed that I mentioned on our race bike video, we now have some monoblock calipers. Yeah, okay, they're not HP4 monoblock calipers, but they are monoblock calipers, and these are standard on the R12 and the R9T. So you're going to get some real good braking performance. The master cylinders are the same from the previous generation, but being monoblock, you're going to get some great bite and that performance that will match the quality of the bike. Suspension wise, you'll notice that although it's a cruiser, they haven't gone for a classic right side up fork. They've gone for upside down forks, which have been provided by a new provider for BMW for this type of bike, which is Mazzocchi. As you can see, beautifully anodized with just some top caps that need a little bit of black treatment. So moving to the back, as I mentioned, the shock is in a new angle, so that's going to give ever so slightly of a different dynamic regards the feedback that the bike gives compared to its predecessors. One thing that is different on the R12 compared to the R12 9T is the wheelbase is longer, as well as you have a 19 up front and a 16 in the rear, just to really help the ergonomics and the look of a cruiser bike. Myself and Rory were relieved to see when the bike was released that they didn't go liquid cooled. We still have our air cooled Boxer. This is great news, very, very good news. We love our air cooled Boxer, and we love the character that this engine has. So thank you very, very much BMW for not having to go liquid cooled yet. This is good for us. Engine wise, there hasn't been a massive redesign with the engine. As you can see, we've still got the fly-by-wire throttle bodies. However, the eagle-eyed among you will see that there's been a redesign for the cylinder heads. So there's an aesthetic change there. But outside of that, we still are dealing with the engine that was seen on the Gen 3 before. Along with that, we've still got the 6-speed gearbox. However, they now offer a shift assist up and down the box as an optional extra. Yeah, shift assist, factory fitted, So you too can definitely have some big smiley fun with what that shift assist allows you to do. Happy days with that. You'll also see that the engine has a new sort of like textured coating over it. That is something that runs through from the main body of the engine all the way through to the final drive. Now, exhaust. They're here, there's no fuel in them, and we can't start them up. So we can't really say how well it's gonna sound, but there's a massive box under there, and there's some pre-muffler stuff going on inside here. So myself and Rory think they might sound a little bit whack, but it's a boxer engine, so it's going to sound good once it's got a free-flowing exhaust system on them. So regards the actual running of the engine itself, it's still a closed-loop system, but within that closed-loop system, there's no longer an exhaust flap. So we hope that that will open things up a little bit. But luckily, the character of the R12 is going to live on in the form of its boxer predecessors. This is A2 compliant. Yeah, that's right. This beautiful bike here, you can get restricted at your BMW dealership to make sure you can have this on an A2 license. A huge bonus for people that are looking to be new to the BMW brand and the R12 platform. This is nice. I like this. Feels like a baby R18, which is good because I think that's what BMW were aiming for. So, upright position, nice and cozy, some nice steep bars, and I can see everything nice and clearly. Now, the other thing that is brand new on the R90 or the R12 platform is I feel like I've got full controls. So I really feel like I'm on the R18. And obviously, as I'm sure you know from the stuff that I've done in the past, I bloody love the R18, and I really love the ergonomics of the bike itself and how it just encourages you to really feel the road and not really go too bananas. And this R12 encourages that massively. Now, cockpit-wise, before I ramble on too much, we have the old school single dial up front, keeping it nice and simple, as well as the high quality controls that we're used to on the BMW. Now, one of the things that we have kept is we've kept the rider modes, but they've given us the rider modes that you find on the R18 with the rock and roll options. A bit decisive, but we're into it. Outside of that, there are some options to spec up the cockpit itself. You can go with the TFT screen. Now, with the TFT screen, that is basically a nice oblong digital display that sits up there, similar to like some of the things that Motor Gadget have done in the past. But with that, you end up having the scroll wheel added on here. So people that are looking to come down from their GS or their S1000R that's a little bit too fast or a little bit too tall with the GS, you'll be used to the BMW tech that comes with the TFT screen. So an optional extra that is very, very cool and really brings the bike into the 21st century. As a whole, it's a real comfortable place to be. Upright position with a nice low seat position to really give people that confidence that could be new to a big capacity bike that they need. Happy days. There we go, that is the R12 and our first impressions of the bike. Obviously, I've waxed lyrical about the low seat height and how it is unintimidating for somebody that is looking for a big capacity bike. But more so, myself and Rory are buzzing that we now have an option to send somebody towards that they find the R90 a little bit too big and a little bit too sporty, and they find the R18 a little bit too big and a little bit too heavy. Well, here you go. The R12 is the bike for you, and we are very, very excited that BMW really have pushed forward with giving us a platform that we can customize. Having a 19 up front and a 16 on the rear really, really does give us that ability to play with the geometry of the bike, and we can really, hopefully, once we get our teeth sunk into it, we can really come up with some cool designs and really go down the bobber route and really get stuck in with a few things that we've had on the back burner for a little while, but something that really now can come to fruition on a model like this. We are super excited to get this down at the workshop, get the parts off of it and find out what's underneath it and what can be changed.